On behalf of the Villages of Homestead, Audubon Clubhouse, and the Board of Directors, we would like to welcome you to a forum of each of the open seats. My name is Judy Waldman. I was an elected official for almost 15 years. I served as vice mayor, and I also served as councilwoman. So I know what these folks are feeling. Must have a few little butterflies in their tummy, but don't worry, we're going to be kind and soft, and we're going to get through it. I also wanted to introduce our committee. Our filming crew is Dennis back there, Dennis Garrard, Eric, better known as Doc Justice, Ted Moscynski, our moderator, Evelyn Martin, our timekeeper. We hope we've got that down pat. My husband Merv, who's going to be doing the still photography, and of course me. The first forum is for the Northwest seat, and this is a little complicated because this is an open seat, and it's under a general election. Vice Mayor Guzman still holds the Northwest seat. However, he has decided to resign to run for mayor. So therefore, the charter says that this group of people will not have a primary. They will go straight to the general election. So today, we didn't want to bombard them with a lot of questions. We're just going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves, to say why you are interested in running, why you think you would fit as a council person, and what your views might be. The moderator, Ted, will make sure to tell you what he wants you to do, his rules. We're all bowing to Ted. And basically, I took notes, and I think I covered most everything. I'd like to introduce you to Colonel Tom Davis.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tom and I worked together for many years with the Air Base Public Information Officer.
Public Affairs Officer.
Yes. And Ms. Badara, she and I have worked together with her nonprofit, and she is the premier dog rescuer in Homestead, and we appreciate all your hard work. And then we have James Wyatt. I know him as Jimbo. He's a wonderful person. He's lived here forever, and he was with the Dade County Parks and Recs. He ran the Bayfront, correct me if I'm wrong, Bayfront Park Marina
At Homestead.
in Homestead. So all of them are very familiar with responsibilities, duties, and with all of that being said, it's time for me to exit stage left, and I'll turn it over to Ted.
Thank you, Judy. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As Judy mentioned, we're going to just allow you to talk about yourselves. I think 5 minutes should be fair, and if something comes up, I may throw a question or two at you, but we'll see how it works. Colonel Davis, you'll be first. I want to thank you for your service. I'm a retired Chief Petty Officer for the Navy myself.
Thank you.
So I know everything that you have to go through to retire or make it that long. So, sir, what we'd like you to do is tell us why you're running, what is your platform and vision, and where do you see, what makes you feel that you are more qualified than your opponents?
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm Tom Davis, and I'm the candidate for Homestead City Council District 1. So let me just start with a short introduction. I was born and raised in Westchester in Miami, and I reside now in Homestead with my wife Jessica and daughter Samantha. We also have living with her Jessica's mom and dad, making us 3 generations under one roof. Jessica and I were married here, Samantha was born here, and we go to church here. I spent almost 34 years in uniform in the service of our country. Lots of challenging positions, lots of travel, both stateside and internationally, and that includes 2 tours to Afghanistan. So now that I've hung up my uniform, I teach at Colonial Christian School. So why do I want to run? It's simple. I love our community and seek to serve. As many of you, I've witnessed tremendous growth in Homestead in the past couple of decades. And it's time to make sure we're properly planning for the next 20 years, the next 50 years. Another reason is I just don't have the agendas that you typically see on a council. I'm not a developer. I'm not a real estate professional. I don't seek to be mayor, congressman, or senator. I just want to serve the community I love. And you know, you have to lead by example too. So here I am with my American government class, and I'm telling them seniors that of the necessity to be part of the political process. So I reckon that it's my turn now. So what do I bring to the table? The military teaches you how to get hard things done. It's a life of service, an honor, and personal sacrifice. There's not going to be an issue too small or a task too big that I won't tackle on behalf of our Homestead citizens. I also bring a meaningful and long-term volunteer service and commitment to our community. So whether fighting homelessness as a board member of Chapman Partnership, participating in the homeless count, mentoring youth at the old Job Corps Center, or assisting young people gain admittance to one of our military service academies, service to our community is a way of life to my family and I. So what do I intend to accomplish? First, I think we need to take a very careful look at the high-density development in our community. Is it time for a moratorium on high-density residential growth? Yeah, you know, I think perhaps so. It's time to catch our breath. Second, I think it's time to study the processes used by the city services. Make no mistake, we enjoy a cadre of hard-working and dedicated city workers. But with big growth comes big change, and it's time to ensure that taxpayers are getting the best bang for their buck. Thirdly, what can the City Council do to help our citizens make ends meet? These are tough economic times for many residents. And you know the mortgage is due on the 1st, the car's due on the 15th, and you got to make tough choices when you go to the grocery store. What can your City Council do to help? I think a tax cut for our residents would be helpful and very timely. My fourth proposal is a little bit out of the box. I think your City Council should advocate for a larger, better staffed VA clinic for our Homestead veterans. The Homestead VA clinic is staffed with a very dedicated group of medical professionals. But with that being said, the current clinic is much too small to meet the needs of our local veteran community. True, the council cannot make a VA clinic appear, but we can strongly advocate for it because it's the right thing to do. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you consider this short video, and I look forward to meeting each of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Merv. Ms. Spadero, same thing for you. Tell us why you were running, what's your platform and vision?
Okay. I'm going to speak from the heart. I didn't write notes because that's not who I am. I am just a person, just a citizen. I'm here. I work in the community activist division. I've always been a community activist in this area for at least the last 15 years, whether it be dogs, children, homeless, whatever people need. I see the needs the city has. The infrastructure needs, the needs for more county help. I feel like we are Miami-Dade's dumping ground, and it's not fair to us. I think we should require more from our county in way of infrastructure. You know, as you've seen with the dump that they're proposing, it's just one more thing to dump on us. The high-density housing, all of US 1, it may not be Homestead, but it's Deep South Dade. Animal dumping grounds, it's time that we're not the dumping ground anymore for Dade County. It's time for us to stand up and be our own city and not allow this. Of course, you have, when you call to run for something like this, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy. But you do it from the heart. You do it because you want to do it. You don't do it because someone tells you to do it, because you think oh, I'll do this because I don't have anything better to do. No, you do it because you want to, and you find the time to make your city better. It's a very caring city, a very loving city, a very generous city of people. I know this from many years of this. We have that small town feel, and I still feel like we have it. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that with insane amount of building. There's sustainable growth, and we've surpassed sustainable growth. I think that's in the past. I think that we need to stop, take a hard look, speak to the county, collaborate more with the county, because you call the city and it's always, oh, that's a city road, that's a county road. And it's more time that we collaborate and get more for our citizens than we've been getting in the past. I feel like there are county resources that we're not getting, and that's our job. That's not for our city residents to call the county and deal with the county. That's our job. We should do that. We should help them. We should not leave that on our citizens to try and navigate the county. The county's hard enough to navigate. I'm not saying I want to limit or moratorium on necessarily all growth. I think we need more jobs here, so we're not traveling to Miami to work and causing more traffic issues. Definitely on building, maybe not so much on commercial. I think that when it comes to commercial, we need the jobs. We need the jobs here, we need the jobs in Dade County. I myself don't work in City of Homestead. I have to work outside of the city. So there's just not that opportunity here like there should be for our residents. In closing, I think I'm doing this, I know why I'm doing this, because it does come from my heart. I want to see better for us as citizens. I want to do the work for you to make this a better city. I will help at any time, day or night, anyone, and I want that from my council. Whether it be me or one of my colleagues, doesn't matter. As long as we have your support any time of day, any time of night, for whatever may be needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wyatt, what is your platform and vision? Tell us why you are running, what is your platform and vision, and what separates you from the other two candidates? Amy, I didn't give you a chance to address that. If you would like to come back to that after Mr. Dave Wyatt.
I don't feel like anything separates us as long as we're on the same page. I feel he has his community involvement, he has his, I'm sure. We all are outreach. We all do for our community. I think that's what separates me a little bit more, is that I'm a strong community activist. I work with schools, I work with dogs, I work with children, I work with homeless. You know, I think that I see the needs more, so I think for our residents than maybe they do.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wyatt.
All right. Well, I'm James Wyatt, a longtime homesteader with unparalleled 60 years of living in this beloved community. My roots extend back to 1955 and date further back to in the 1920s here in Homestead. After high school, I pursued a higher education, earned an associate degree in civil engineering, and then went on to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach to get a bachelor's degree in aviation administration. I spent a remarkable 15 years with Miami-Dade County Park and Recreation Department as a marina manager at Homestead Bayfront Park and Marina, retiring recently in November 2022. My devotion to family includes my wife, daughter, Ashley, and stepdaughter, stepson, and 8 cherished children, grandchildren. Excuse me. I'm a friendly, experienced, and dedicated full-time candidate you can trust to be your vote in City Hall and City Council. I'm committed to preserving our community, exceptionally quality of life. I pledge to vote against all irresponsible development projects that threaten our well-being and negatively impact our quality of life. I will promise to promote a residential building moratorium, which RBM, solve traffic problems throughout innovations that are affecting our way of life. I'll collaborate closely with state and county officials to find a sustainable solution. I recognize the financial strain that many of our residents face. I'll diligently balance our budget and make prudent financial decisions. It is my firm belief that we should not increase taxes on our residents who are already contributing their fair share. To learn more about me, you can go to my website at www.wyatt4homestead.com. And I humbly ask for your vote in the upcoming November election. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I just didn't know that the people wanted to rather than his involvement, because his community involvement. I think he was just speaking as his investment, but that's our community.
What this is? Say it again. It's okay.
I was just saying that because the colonel went first,
Yeah.
you know, it was, I was so touched by your community involvement and what you've done. You made me cry, Jim. But I thought maybe we might give the colonel a few seconds just to, I know his wife's involved in the Red Cross. I know you were talking mainly about yourself, but since the others talked about their community, I thought maybe you might want to say a few words.
Oh, thank you for that opportunity. Do I ever have enough words to describe Jessica? Everything changed when I met my Jessica, and I actually met her at Chapman Partnership when it was homeless, community partnership for homeless. She was the food service manager there and ran it and fed 300 people 3 times a day. Jessica has worked at Chapman. She worked for the American Red Cross. She was the lead for service to armed forces during the height of our involvement in Afghanistan and Iraq. That was Jessica, sending boxes overseas, sending letters overseas, coordinating with families. There was at the time a fund that she was helping to coordinate, because one thing that we all know happens when you deploy, the water heater is going to blow off, the roof is going to leak, whatever. And she was helping to distribute those monies to veterans throughout our community. Today she works for AARP Foundation, and to put it in a nutshell, she can explain it much better than I, but she helps elders get jobs. And in our community, you have an entire group of individuals that may have arrived in the United States in their 40s or 50s or 60s, and there's no time to get a retirement plan, there's no time to get any of that together, and so you got to work. And so Jessica helps them get this computer skills and accounting skills, what have you, to help them get a job and to stay afloat in this economy. In my eyes, she's a great American hero, because she takes these things on as a ministry, and she meaningfully helps people all around her. Thanks for giving me that opportunity. I'll talk about Jessie all day.
Well, it's just, we want to be fair, and it's hard going first, because I know you were given specific instructions, but we all deviated just a little bit, so I'm glad my boss over here didn't cut me with the cane.
I'd like to ask you a quick question. All three of you address the homeless situation in Homestead. Do any of you know exactly, or a ballpark figure, how many homeless do we have, and where are they staying at night?
Well, the homeless, Miami-Dade County sponsors a homeless count about twice a year. That was interrupted with COVID, and I'm not actually sure they've actually started it up again. But with police escort, you go around. Now, who knows where the homeless resides? The police. They see it. They're supposed to. They see it every day, and that's how you make the count. The last count that I recall, there was about 500 people on the street. That's who you count as people on the street throughout the entirety of Miami-Dade County. It seems kind of low, but I think it's time for us. One of the things that I think is very valuable for us, the next time we do a homeless count, we have the Homestead police escort the counters through Homestead. And then that way we'll be able to say, Miami-Dade County, you need to come up to the plate and help us with this issue. We have this many homeless. We need to get them into the continuum of care. Help us do that, please. And I think that's a very valuable thing to do.
Okay, Mr. Darrell?
So I encounter a lot of homeless, of course, again, back to the dog rescue, unfortunately, but they call me, they have dogs, they can't get into shelters. I work a lot with the housing department, try and get these people in shelters when I can. If they can't take their dogs, we will with dogs, whatever needs to be done. I do think it's an issue. I think it's also a county issue. Again, going back to the county, being held accountable for our city too, they pay taxes as well. I think we're not gonna solve it. We're not gonna solve the homeless. We have an elderly man that lives outside with his dog. He refuses to go anywhere. And we've offered him plenty. Not all of them want to go into a facility. Not all of them want the help. You know, we have a lot of veterans that don't want to be told what to do anymore. So, and there's a lot of rules and regulations that's involved in that. And I do work with Housing Authority. I do try to figure out a way to get them into some sort of housing, but it is a continuing issue, especially right down the street from my house on 15th. It's a continuing issue.
Mr. Ryan?
Well, I've had a little bit of experience with that, the homeless, being with Miami-Dade County in the park, and we'd get them out there quite often. And one of the biggest things I ever noticed was how people handle them. The training is not there. That on our part, our employees never got trained on how to deal with them. And I've watched the police come in there and talk to them and all that, and it wasn't proper. My biggest thing, I couldn't give you a number as far as how many we've got here, but I can tell you, watching the police and even my employees at the park, there needed to be some real training done on how to handle and treat these people and not disrespect them. Some of them were veterans that came there, and that's just wrong. So as far as numbers, I couldn't tell you how many we got in Homestead. I think we've got this food shelter that feeds 38,000 families a year or people, and I think it needs to have better funding, more funding, because obviously Homestead was looking for more money the other day. So,
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have something they'd like to hear? All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. You all very well spoken, did a nice job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you for having me.